Oi, you smell that? That's the stink of another sneaky cash grab dressed up as fairness by a government that's either lost the plot or thinks we've all got rocks in our heads. Yeah, I'm talking about Labor's so-called super tax, a flaming disaster in disguise. Jim Chalmers, the bloke Jane Hume just called the king of spin, is about to mug your future retirement and sell it to you like it's a bloody upgrade. You better believe this one's going to fire up some serious outrage, because what they're doing isn't just unfair, it's cooked. Fully, properly cooked. Before we dive into Labor's billion-dollar super tax bombshell, where Jim Chalmers gaslights the nation, Jane Hume goes full savage and the Greens rubber stamp it all, smash that like button like you're deleting your super balance before the ATO gets to it. Subscribe if you're done with economic spin, dressed up as reform. And grab the elbow-lootly clueless shirt. Links in the description below. Now, before you start thinking, it won't affect me, I'm not a millionaire, let me stop you right there. That's what they want you to think. Oh, it's only for the top 0.5%, they say. Like that means it won't touch the rest of us. But here's the kicker. It's not indexed. So what starts with a few rich retirees today slowly creeps down and grabs middle-income Aussies tomorrow. The line stays at $3 million, but inflation doesn't. House prices go up, wages climb, super balances grow. And boom, you're in the firing line. It's like aiming a water pistol at a mosquito and ending up flooding your whole bloody house. And the worst part, it's a tax on unrealized gains. That's right. The government wants to charge you tax on money you haven't even made yet. That's like going to the pub, ordering a pint, and getting slapped with a hangover tax before you've even taken your first sip. Make it make sense, mate. You haven't sold the shares, you haven't cashed out your property, hell, you might have even lost money. But here comes Jim, with his tax invoice and his smug grin, telling you it's about fairness. Fairness? Fair go, mate. That's a dog act. Now here's where it gets real spicy. Jane Hume, yes, Liberal senator and certified political sniper, just tore into this policy on live telly, called it profoundly unfair, which is putting it politely. She also said Jim Chalmers isn't the treasurer, he's the king of spin, and honestly, she might be onto something. The bloke talks like he's narrating a children's bedtime story. Once upon a time, a rich man had too much super, so he took it away and gave it to the working class. But in reality, that fairy tale ends with everyone copying it, not just the fat cats. And look, I'm not usually one to sing the Liberal Party's praises, but at least they said they'd repeal this crap. Jane reminded us that this wasn't some backdoor, sneaky idea Labor cooked up last minute. Nah, this was one of the first things they tried after promising not to touch super or introduce new taxes. 2 lies in one go. That's Olympic-level dishonesty right there. And they still expect us to trust them when they say, it's only the rich. Yeah, sure. Tell that to your future self when your super's getting taxed before you've even logged into your online banking. Now let's talk about the Greens for a second, because these guys are just as complicit. Labor needed the Greens in the Senate to pass this shambles. And guess what? They got them. Bob Brown's old mob just handed the government a tax knife and told them where to stick it. And what were the conditions? Just remove the indexation clause, a few crossbenchers said. Labor refused, didn't even blink. Why? Because they want this tax to creep. They need it to. This isn't about fixing the budget. It's about planting a ticking tax bomb that'll explode right under your retirement nest egg. And you know what's really laughable? Jim Chalmers calls himself a doctor of economics. Jane reckons he's more like a magician, turning illusions into policy. She's praying that the new economic brains in Labor, Andrew Charlton and Danny Molino, can knock some sense into him. And yeah, they've got fancy degrees and all that, but can they actually tell Chalmers to pull his head in? Or are they just going to nod along, polish the spin, and keep selling this lemon to the Aussie public? Let's not forget, superannuation was sold to us as sacred. Put your hard-earned in now. Lock it up for 40 years, and retire in peace. That was the deal. The promise. We all trusted that the tax rate would be 15%, that it'd be protected. But now, Labor's shifting the goalposts mid-game. Imagine signing up for a mortgage, then 10 years in, the bank decides your interest rate is now based on how often you blink. That's what this feels like. A betrayal wrapped in bureaucratic gibberish. And what really rattles me is how quiet this all went during the campaign. Angus Taylor, who apparently had 3 years to work on economic policy, barely made a peep about it. They let Labor run wild with this super tax idea and didn't put up a proper fight. This was low-hanging fruit, mate. A free shot. But the Libs were off napping while Labor loaded the cannon. And now, the average Aussie is stuck in the middle of a tax war no one asked for. Make no mistake, this is the beginning of something big and ugly. Today it's $3 million. Tomorrow, who knows? Maybe they'll lower the bar again. Maybe they'll decide your house is too valuable and needs taxing too. Once you normalize taxing money that doesn't exist yet, the sky's the limit for these clowns. And by then, it'll be too late. The groundwork will be laid. And every future treasurer will have their hands deep in your wallet before you even get to retirement age. So don't fall for the spin. Don't let them gaslight you into thinking this is about rich people and billionaires hoarding yachts and beachfronts. It's about principle. It's about fairness. It's about the government breaking a promise and hoping you're too distracted by headlines to notice. And let's be real for a second. If a Liberal senator is sounding the alarm, you know it's serious. These pollies rarely agree on anything. But when someone calls it a retirement tax, they're not mucking around. Jane Hume might have dropped some political heat, but at least she's not pretending this is harmless. So what can you do? Stay loud, stay angry, talk to your mates, flood your MPs with emails. Make this policy stick to Labor like cling wrap on a sausage roll. Because if we let this one slide, it won't be the last. Today it's unrealized gains. Tomorrow it's imagined incomes. Next week it's vibes-based taxation. This isn't just about super, it's about trust, transparency, and standing up when the government starts getting too cocky. Jim Chalmers wants to be the puppet master of your retirement. Don't let him. Don't be fooled by the king of spin. Be the king or queen of calling out crap when you see it. And hey, if you're as fired up as I am, smash that like button harder than Labor smashed their credibility. Drop a comment below if you reckon this tax is a joke. And if you're wearing your elbow-lootly clueless tee while watching this, respect. Links in the description if you need one. Subscribe if you're sick of spineless politics and want the truth served with a side of Aussie grit. We're just getting warmed up.